What is up, my friends? We are jumping back into another Modern League match. My name is Brandon Osborne, aka Control for Days. Before we get started, if you did not take note in the intro to today's video, we are running a slightly different list than what we've run in our previous episodes. We are up to 4 Thoughtseize in the sideboard, we are up to 3 Grist in the main deck, and we've shaved an Eldritch Evolution. Also got 2 Boseiju in the main deck, so take note of that. Let's see how it fares against our opponent today. We are playing against Yawgmoth. I don't know what anybody plays these days, so this is all a surprise to me, but if you watch the intro of the video, you should know what we're playing against. We are on the play. We do not see a companion on the other side, aka a commander. Our opening 7 is strong. So we're going to keep this hand. Potentially the dividends of going up to a 3rd Grist in the main deck showing up already. So we like this. Opponent mulligans to 5 cards, which makes you a little bit nervous. They're down to 4 cards. Could be something like Tron. They're down to 3 cards. Aggressive mulligans from an opposition. I mean, immediately you think Tron. So we're going to keep this. Our only play turn 1 is going to be our Hierarch, so we're going to make moves with that. Let me click this little icon that's blinking at the bottom of my screen here. Okay. So Tron, I would say is a favorable matchup, assuming that that's what this is. It is not. Okay. Okay. So my opponent is on a 3-card hand and they're not playing Tron. Might not fare well for them. We shall see. They led Windswept Heath. Could be something like a mirror match. Probably not, though. I don't know if I really want to draw more lands, so I'm actually going to fetch a basic here. And we're going to play out our Grist, uptick, and pass the turn. So I'm operating in the blind for the most part. You'll have to excuse me for a moment. My dog just walked in the room and opened the door, so I will have to close the door. 1 sec. Hey, bud. Wanna jump on the couch, bud? Go ahead. Alright, so my opponent is bolting my Grist in response to my uptick. Not sure what that's all about. It's a little unusual. Dude, come here. Come here. On the couch. There you go. Good boy. Okay, I'm back. Alright. So a very unconventional play from my opponent. Stomping Ground Forest, Wrenn in 6. And there goes our Grist. But we got our value, and we can swing down the Wrenn in 6 here. I mean, they have 1 card in their hand. We just drew a Court of Calling as well, which is pretty strong. So conversely, what we could also do is we could swing in with the Insect token, hit the Wrenn in 6, kill it, and then have Endurance up at instant speed, which I think might be the better play just because it's a more mana efficient play. So I think we're actually going to do that. Swing at Wrenn in 6, kill Wrenn in 6. The little chip damage you get here and there with Exalted is always nice. It does make a difference, as you can see in an instance like that. Alright, so let's see what our opponent does here. And next turn we should be able to cord for a Yawgmoth, depending on what they do with this second Wrenn and 6. If they uptick, we will get rewarded. They did not. We'll add a mana though. Alright, we're going to cast our Endurance and we're going to shuffle their graveyard. Even though I like the cards in my graveyard, it pretty much negates the effectiveness of their Wrenn and 6, and they scoop. So, based on what we saw, we're thinking like a traditional Ponza style deck. So we're thinking like Blood Moons, we're thinking, you know, ramp into that sort of thing. Maybe some sort of like land destruction spells on top of that. So with that being said, I'm going to bring in an Outland Liberator. I'm probably going to bring in Endurance. I think I like Thought Seizes in this matchup. I don't know if I want 4 of them, but I think we want some number. We might actually want another Endurance as well. We'll see. I don't love Evolution in matchups where our mana is being pressured, so I'll probably shave at least one of those, as opposed to like running Court of Calling. You can tap your creatures if your mana is stressed, so I think there's more value to running Cord than Evo in these matchups. I think I like Grist. I don't think I want 4 Endurance. They're going to be killing our mana dorks pretty liberally with something like Wrenn and 6, so they're actually not as strong as they would be in other matchups. So we're going to cut some number of those. And I think we can shave a Wolf as well. They might have Fury in their deck too, so I just want to minimize the effectiveness of their removal, minimize the effectiveness and their ability to get 2-for-1s. So I think we're going to shave, I might even shave all 4 birds, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think we'll try that. We don't have a ton of information about what they're doing either, so this could be incorrect, but I think we're going to try it, see how this game pans out, and then go from there. Let's see what our opponent is doing. They mulliganed again. You know, all I know is that they have Wrenn and 6. I really don't know anything about their deck. Wrenn and 6 and Lightning Bolt. This hand is not great. And they're on a mulligan. I think we'll mulligan as well. This hand I like better. Still not super, but it's fine. We'll keep it. And I think I want the ability to fetch basics, so I'm actually going to shave a Hierarch and go from there. And they're mulliganing again to Oblivion. They're down to 4 cards. I don't know what this deck is, what they're doing. This is confusing. Is there like some sort of combo? I don't know. It beats me. There's an Arbor Elf. So, I mean, that's standard Ponza kind of stuff. Alright. Wall of Roots, if it is Ponza, is a really good draw. Or just a really good card to have. I don't know if it's a good draw in this instance, but it's a card you want. And I'm actually going to lead on Young Wolf to play around something like a Ragavan that they might potentially have, or a Wrenn and 6. So we'll see what they have here. 3 mana, Pyromancer. Another reason why Endurance is strong in the deck. Alright, Thoughtseize not a bad draw, but it doesn't actually it's fine. I think we're going to hold the Thoughtseize and wait for another turn on it. So again, I'm going to fetch basics here. And we're going to swing in with our Young Wolf. It's going to have the trigger from the Hierarch, so we can chip in for 2 damage. And they're blocking, that's interesting. Interesting and surprising. If they have something like a Fury, I'm fine. They'll get a 2-for-2 off of it. It doesn't really bother me. Okay, they can hard cast a Fury here. Oh, they have another Pyromancer. That makes sense. They're up to 2 cards in hand. So they've recovered decent from their mulligan. They've recouped, I guess, 3 cards. Alright, so that's a really, really strong draw, and that is going to allow us to... I wonder if we can Thoughtseize and Chord for Yawgmoth in the same turn. Or in the same turn cycle. So there's 1, 2... that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we can do that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll take some damage, but I think it's worth it. And I think we go for Yawgmoth during the upkeep so we can get rid of the Arbor Elf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Alright, there goes another Pyromancer. Play that out untapped. And then we will pass the turn and upkeep, get ourselves a Yawgmoth. And I actually wouldn't be surprised if they scoop from this point. I mean, they're pretty incapacitated. So our Yawgmoth here, we're going to nab the Arbor Elf. What they might wind up doing is just flashing back a Pyromancer, which is fine. We're not really too concerned about them doing that if they want to make use of their mana. Of note, Pyromancer is a human, so we have pro-humans with our Yawgmoth here, so they're not connecting with that. Not that they would, but... Alright, so they are going to make that play where they flash back their Pyromancer. I guess technically it's not a flashback. Okay, they're deciding not to, I guess. It's odd. Well, I guess they have another land, so they can see what they draw first. And they can do it at instant speed as well, so I think that was the right play. I think Grist is a pretty strong draw. The best draw for them at this point is something like a Fury. Alright, so I think we're going to lead on Grist here. We're going to uptick our Grist. And we're going to swing with both Yawgmoth and Young Wolf. And depending on how they block, we might mess with some of this stuff during combat. Let's see, I would imagine they're probably going to double block the Young Wolf. Okay, so we'll do that, and I think based upon that, we'll just dump the Pyromancer. Fine. If that's how they want to spend their turns, I'm okay with that. And I think we're going to lose one of our Wall of Roots here and just draw some cards. Actually, I don't think we can do that because it will kill our Young Wolf. So we'll just play out a Twilight Mirror. Twilight Mirror is an interesting card and a card to make note of, because if we have Wall of Roots and Twilight Mirror up, we can produce double black during our opponent's turn, if those are our only 2 mana sources, so that's useful for proliferating purposes. Yeah, and our opponent scoops here. So this wasn't the most interesting match. Our opponent mulliganed pretty aggressively in both games. Ponza, I'm just going to look up my matchup percentages on my spreadsheet here. So just regular Ponza, small sample size, but it's I think, a pretty favorable matchup. We're 6-2 in that matchup up to this point. Especially if you know what you're up against, just having the ability to fetch out basics and play around certain cards like Wrenn 6 and Fury. You know, just having that knowledge, I think, goes a long way in a matchup like this. So, wasn't the most exciting match, but, you know, nothing I could do about that with regards to how my opponent played and how they mulliganed. I think they played fine, but, you know, their mulligans, I think, was a little rough. So, I'm going to try to get another match in because this one went quickly, and hopefully I'll have another video for you sooner rather than later. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have not done so already, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment below. Let me know, you know, what I can do better maybe, what you liked about the video, whatever it might be. Share your thoughts with me, comments below. I'll see you next time. Until then.